dedicated to the great outdoors. It's Southern Woods and Waters with Hugh McNaughton. Southern Woods and Waters is brought to you by Gander Mountain, Greenform Construction, the Burns Insurance Group, Cunningham Buick GMC, Nashville Marine, America's Motorsports, and now here's Hugh.
All right, welcome everyone to this Thursday night's edition of Southern Woods and Waters, and it has been an eventful week for us. We've been to Reelfoot Lake. We got you 3 great films on Reelfoot Lake, and I think you're really going to enjoy those. We will have those up here very shortly. But tonight, my guest is the one and the only Mark Travis, and I tell you what, this guy is just awesome when it comes to crappie fishing, and we're going to go do a show with him very quickly, but we have him on here to talk to us about crappie fishing. We keep talking to you about bass and all this stuff, but when you want to fill the freezer, you want to fill it with crappie, don't you, Mark?
That's the best fish to put in the
That's right. Thank you so much, Mark, for being on the show, and Mark, you're regular here. I just want people to understand that, you know, it's time to change your tactics just a little bit. You've been changing your tactics a little bit. Crappie fishing is not rocket science, but you got to work with it a little bit, don't you?
It's a very methodical way, the way I fish for crappie. And it's very systematic. You can see my rigs on the table. The poles will go over that. The GPS, the depth finders.
Now, I understand you changed your setup just a little bit from what it was the last time we filmed. Did you add something up front, or?
Well, not really. I mean,
you still use the chirps? And
oh yeah, we're still using HDS7.
Okay.
And you know, that's what we're looking for, that sound. Today we're out. Most of the crappie are coming off the beds where you hear the most chirping. When those crickets are sounding like they're breaking their legs, it's on. And we're in the summertime pattern right now on the lake. All the fish are out there chasing the shad. We've got the baby shad coming up. We were out there this morning. We had probably 1 acre to 2 acres of water just explode with the hybrid and the bass going after them.
That is great. So the jumps have already started.
They're here.
They're here.
The hybrid are running everywhere. They range anywhere from about 13 inches up to 20 inches.
Oh,
and on my rig, you know, when they hit that thing, you better
hold on.
Yeah, hold on, or hit the trigger and let him run.
Let him run. Yeah.
Yeah, because some of them are just so powerful when they hit. If you don't bow to them, they'll take that line and run it straight out and break it.
That's amazing to me. Yeah. But there's a healthy population of fish, don't you think, on Percy Priest?
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be a great year. I mean, we've caught them. Yeah, well, the water is low.
Okay.
And the best thing I can tell you right now, I've seen 6 boats run aground.
Really?
Yeah. And we're 3 foot low. And that doesn't mean, if you see water and if you don't know where you're going, go slowly.
Yeah.
Because there may only be 1 foot to 6 inches in some places. And so be careful out there.
Have they done I haven't been on Priest in just a little while. I'm going to get back here, but there was some concern as to the buoy markers. Are they?
They're pretty good.
They're pretty good. So if you stay in between the navigable beacons, we call them, you're going to be okay?
You are, but the problem is they're not staying in there. People are renting rental boats this morning. We saw a rental boat, and just, I don't know how it didn't run aground. And they're pulling people on tubes and all that type of stuff. So most people go out there, if there's water there, they're going to run through it. But you got to be careful. It will get you out there this time of year. There are places where 6 inches to 1 foot of water. That's all that's on top of it right now. Memorial
Day weekend we just got over, that was a big weekend. Were you anywhere on the water or near the water?
I was not. I was there pretty much the week before.
Smart guys, we stay off the water, don't we, during Memorial Day weekend?
I don't mind going there because I've got places where I can get away from the traffic, or go early, leave early. But, you know.
I went to Reelfoot. There's no skiers on Reelfoot. That place got way too many stumps for skiers or anything. They don't even have those wave runners.
No.
They don't use those out there either. So it's pretty good. But you know, Memorial Day weekend is a great weekend to go fishing, carry your family fishing. But like you said, you got to be safe. You got to watch what you're doing.
Be safe.
Do you think that Percy Priest is going to come up any?
Well, the last 2 days, at the end of the day, I'm sitting out there fishing in the rain. So hopefully, the little thunderstorms, I'll take every one of them we can get. I don't mind fishing in the rain.
No, it doesn't bother
And
me.
so, you know, more rain the better. I'd like to see that 3 feet of water come in that lake. What it's doing is making some of those fish where normally there would be, say, over a bed, you had 3 more feet. Instead of fishing at 9 feet deep, I'd be fishing at 12 feet deep. And that clear water on the lower end, a lot of times, it makes a difference. As that sun gets higher in the air, you know, it's just one of those kind of deals where they're going to go down there in that cover, and they ambush from the cover out. So
Right.
if it's shallow, they're going to be deeper in that cover to where they don't get a lot of light because they're ambush predators. And that's just the way they work.
Shad are in a big time abundance, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of them, you know, where I get close and see the big schools of the baby shad, but it's here.
It's here.
I see it on the screen. I mean, it's just clouds of bait fish all around.
So-
And I love that.
Healthy population of fish, healthy population of bait fish. We just had a full moon not too long ago, so we had brand new crawfish hatch. We got a new moon coming up, so we'll have another one. And I tell people, anytime you see the moon in the sky during the daytime, that's the best time to be fishing. Fish are biting. Do you carry to that
I
moon
do a little bit.
phase?
I'm more of a wind guy,
Wind.
okay? Winds out of the east, they bite the least,
That's right.
okay? That holds true. Now, for your crappie guys, that means, you know how I keep my little bucket of rigs on the
Yeah,
boat,
yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Instead of using maybe a quarter bucket, we'll probably use a half or 3/4 of a bucket because we're going to have to dig those fish out of the cover. We can catch them. It's a slower bite. It's a lighter bite. But if you watch the floats, they're there.
I wanted to tell you, Mark, and we still got time in this segment. I know a guy that is using your system on Reelfoot Lake for bluegill.
Yeah, it works for anything.
And what he's doing now, he is actually bed fishing, and they're using, and we'll talk about that here in a minute, but he's using his electronics to find the beds. He's a guide. It's his job to catch the fish. But I was interested in his bobber system. He uses a slip bobber,
Like me.
like you. He uses a little heavier split shots than what you normally would put on a bobber. Because once it gets there, he wants it to get down fast and stay there. And then he takes and just twitches it over those beds, a cricket or a mealworm or something like that, and they just automatically attack it.
Oh, yeah.
They can't take it. But that extra weight, you don't get any of this running with a bobber. It's an automatic go down.
Well, most people underweight their floats. If you look at a float and you see most of it out of the water, you
You've
don't
underweighted
have enough weight on it. When my float is in the water, all you'll see is that red, right like that.
That's it.
Okay? A light bite, that fish will slide that float to just all you see is the white.
Yeah.
Okay? Today they were doing it, and right now they're running with it. If you get into a school of your smaller fish, you may have 3 or 4 poles go off at one time. And you know how I've got 1 through 4 on the left, 5 through 8 on the right. So if you have pole 4 headed toward pole 3, pick up pole 4.
Pick up pole 4.
And if you've got them all going down or running, pick as many as you can. And
it's amazing to watch you guys.
Oh, yeah.
And what I want to say is Mark Travis has a wonderful guide service too, ladies and gentlemen, and you need to get a hold of him if you want to have a great day on the lake. Now this guy is comical in some instances. He'll sit up there with you. He'll bait. He sits in the middle. You got a fisherman on the left and a fisherman on the right, and he calls out numbers like 1, 6, 3, 8. You better be picking up 1, 3, 6, and 8. If
not, I'll hand you that pole with fish on it.
He will hand you the pole with the fish on it. It is fun. It is fun. And I keep thinking, I can do that. I can do that. Let me sit down. No, I can't do that. He's like, I get confused. It's like, you're screaming at me, Mark.
After a while, what do you say? Get to where you say, get them.
Yeah, just get them.
When you're tired of the numbers, just get them. When you
Just
see
get
that
'em.
float move, it's all about, 8 rods, people look at it, oh, I'm just overwhelmed. Well, each person only has 4.
So you cut that in half.
So if you look at them, I watch 7. Where I sit, I can watch 7 at a time. That's just what I do. Now, if I'm on the boat and say there's some birds fly by, and you happen to take your eyes off the float, the minute you move your head, I'm watching your poles. because that's most of the time when they're going to bite.
That's the most time they're going to get a bite?
That's just what happens.
All right.
You know?
Well, I tell you what, we got to take a quick break. Let's take a break, visit some of our fine sponsors, and we'll be right back with more of Mark Travis and Southern Woods and Waters.